Hello students. So today we are going to start with our standard 6th subject science, our lesson number 10, that is force and types of forces. So students, we what basically force is and how it is used we will know in this lesson. So we'll begin. I'll show you some pictures. See students, this first picture is of a boy who is rowing a boat. Correct? There is a boy who is rowing a boat. So this picture shows that this boy is applying certain kind of force. Okay? Next picture is a girl who is pressing a sponge. When you press a sponge, you have to apply some sort of force means takat, energy. Correct? You have to put in some force. So while you're pressing a sponge, at that time also some force is applied. Moving to the third picture, we have here a boy who is doing pull-ups, who is putting some force and pulling his body on the rod. He is pulling himself upwards. In this picture also students, we can see that this particular boy needs to apply certain kind of force. Okay? Moving to our fourth picture, here you can see bullock cart. Here the bullocks need a certain force to pull the cart which is behind them. They need pressure, they need some force to pull that cart which is attached to them. Okay, now moving to fifth picture, that is here there is a man who is running a wheel. You know, people play this game often. You can see on roads people take a stick and with a hoop they rotate this wheel. Now this game also needs one force. You need a force and energy, or you can say takat. You need some force to move this wheel forward. Understood students? Now last picture, which here is a girl who is playing a football. Now students, you all must have played football, so this is very relatable that while you play football you have to use certain force that will be applied on the ball, then only the ball will be able to move forward. Correct? So basically students, this all is force. When we kick the football which is coming in our direction towards the goal, we all have to apply some force. In our day-to-day life, we are doing many actions which we saw in the pictures, like lifting, pulling, riding a bicycle, stopping it at times, pushing a load, squeezing or bending something, and also driving vehicles. So students, basically it is necessary to apply force for doing all these necessary actions. Force is applied to an object to pull it or push it in any manner. Basically, the definition of force is that no object changes its position on its own. Force is required to move an object. Force is used to change the direction of an object in motion or to stop that particular object going towards any motion. So now students, you can see that even for changing the shape of any object, the blacksmith uses some force to change that particular object. That shows that force is also necessary to change the shape of any object. Understood students? Now children, there are also many types of forces which we can see in our day-to-day life. The very first among them is muscular force. As from its name itself, you can understand that it is based on our muscles. Muscular means muscles. So basically this force is based on our muscles, or you can say in our muscular activity. So for example, in all actions which were shown before, they all need the muscles for it. For example, the movement which took place with the help of bones and muscles in our body, that force is basically called as muscular force. Now the person in the image, in the picture which I'm showing, this girl, she is lifting the weight by using what? Muscular force. She needs her muscles, she needs her bones to lift that dumbbell. So this shows that she is using the muscular force. Basically students, a definition for this is the force which is applied with the help of muscles is called as muscular force. There are many more example of muscular force. For example, if you are lifting a bag, that time also you need your muscles and bones. That is also the example of muscular force. For example, if you are pushing something, if you are pushing a cupboard back to its place, at that time also you need muscles. This also shows your muscular forces. Whatever you do, now remember that are you applying your muscular force or not? Understood? Now moving towards second type of force, that is mechanical force. Now again, from its name itself you can understand that mechanic resembles for machines. Basically this force is used, or it is used by the help of certain machines which can make our work little bit easy than the muscular force. Now how? I'll show you. Students, we use different machines for doing many tasks, correct? Muscular force is also used for running some machines. For example, if you want to run some machine, you use another machine for it. Some machines are run by using electricity or fuel. Machines like the latter are called automatic machines because a mechanical force is used here. Understood? For example, here you can see in the picture sewing machine. This is a machine which can stitch your clothes within time. Electric pump, washing machine, mixer, etc. These all are kind of machines. Students, you may define this as the force applied by means of machine is basically called as mechanical force. Students, you can make a list of other such machines which are used on mechanical force. Now the third type of force is gravitational force. So I hope students you have heard about gravity before. What is gravity? Gravity is basically I can tell you that our earth has one kind of force which is called as gravitational force. It attracts things towards it. Okay, so from the word gravity, this force is applied as gravitational force. Now let us take one example for it. Now if an object is thrown upward by applying force, correct, then it will reach a certain height and it will come back again. Why does this happen? For example, if you throw a ball towards the sky, that ball will again come down. Why does this happen? Why do fruits on trees fall to the ground? Why does this happen? Because the earth pulls all the objects towards itself because of the gravity which it has. The force applied by the earth to pull objects towards itself is none other but called gravitational force. This was the definition of gravitational force. Okay, so now students, knowing more about gravitational force, I'll take you in the past. Now what happens in the past? Why I am taking you in the past? Because of this person which you can see on your screen. His name is Sir Isaac Newton. Now he is the one who discovered gravitation. In the 17th century, the Earth's gravitational force always acts in a direction opposite to that of an object which is moving upwards. Hence, the speed of that object goes on decreasing till in the end it becomes zero when the object starts falling down instead of going up any further. While falling, its speed goes on increasing all the time due to gravitational force. This theory or this proper explanation was given by Sir Isaac Newton. I understand that you all must be knowing who Sir Isaac Newton is, correct? We always have heard about him. Now we also know that why we always speak about him, because he explained us the very important theory which is gravitational force. Now students, will also have one activity. What we can do is, you have to take a small stone and a bucket full of water. Now drop the stone into the water from a height of about 20 centimeter. You will hear the sound of the stone dropping into the water. Now drop the same stone into the water from a height of about 100 centimeter. You will still hear the sound, but there must be some difference in the sound of about two actions, correct? What we conclude from this, the actions, the gravitational force brings sound. If you throw a stone from a normal distance or from a less distance, that is 20 centimeter, the voice will be little less. But if you drop it from 100 centimeter, which is little bit away, at that time the sound will be little higher. Understood? One more is that the actions of lifting a sack, which is shown in the picture, that is, if you take a sack which is empty and one which is full, you will see some difference, correct? Because the one which is empty will be very easy to lift, but one which is full is very difficult to lift. Why? Because the gravitational force on the empty sack is less. That is why it weighs less. But the gravitational force on the bigger sack is greater. In other words, the bag weighs more. This shows that greater force must be applied to lift a greater weight. Understood? Do you know, students, the weight of an object, it is hung from the book of a spring balance. The suspended object is pulled downwards by the force of gravity. At the same time, the force of the tension in the spring constantly pull the objects upwards. The object comes to rest when the tension in the spring or the movement in the spring comes to rest. Now the gravitational force on the objects become equal. In this position, the scale on the spring balance shows the gravitational force which is acting on the object. The gravitational force acting on an object is called the weight of that particular object. Now we can also find out that if we go in different planets, we'll have different weights. You can check it out how it can be done. So students, here we have finished with the first half of our lesson. Now in our next session, we'll continue with the second half of our lesson. I hope until now you understood it well. We'll meet in our next session. Till then, thank you.